News Now app is on iOS and Android.
Right now at 5, a Joplin police officer will not be charged for a shooting incident earlier this year.
And we're a little calmer for the time being, but we still have scattered thunderstorm chances over the next few days. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we'll hear from some Vernon County, Missouri residents as they try to clean up following heavy flooding.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So we had thunderstorms last night. We had a couple of tornado warnings out west again in places that they absolutely did not need. It did have a brief tornado touchdown in Chautauqua County. Thankfully, nothing significant so far reported from that. But we also had heavy rain with those thunderstorms.
Yes, we did.
And we've talked about we needed the rain, but this is too much in too short a time.
Yes,
and it's causing a number of issues. And when we get the flooding, it doesn't help the situation at all.
Yeah.
And we're not done with the rain yet. So we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker and show you what we've got out there now. We've got the remnants of those showers and storms from last night pushing off to the south. So you see we got showers into Ottawa, Delaware, Benton counties out there, and into southern Missouri as well. But then take a look out to the west. We have more thunderstorms out there. Now, the bulk of the activity from last night was moving down to the south and to the east. However, if you take a look in the short loop of this development here, it is beginning to move to the east. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these showers and storms and see exactly what they do, if they continue to develop, if they continue to possibly intensify, and if they hold, just how much further north they develop and how far east they manage to go. So we'll keep an eye on these showers and storms. They're not strong or severe at this point, but we just want to watch them as they start to roll into the area. But at least for now, we're getting a pause. Still a number of flood warnings out there. All of the flood watches were dropped actually this morning. The only active flood watch outside of our area into north central Oklahoma. Right now, it is 62 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh. It's a bit more mild out there. There's some patchy fog here and there, but nothing significant out there at this point. Most of us into the low to mid 60s across the areas. We get our day started. We have that boundary, so that's why we got to watch those thunderstorms out west. We've got 63 isolated to widely scattered storms, breezy when the kids get on the bus. South winds gusting to 20. And again, isolated to widely scattered storms this afternoon. 81, still breezy. South winds gusting upwards of 20. That's going to be the case today. It's going to be isolated to widely scattered storms through most of the day. Our better storm chances won't pick up again until we get into the late evening and overnight hours. In between showers and storms, we'll get some peaks of sun. We'll make it back up into the upper 70s and low 80s again. We do have the possibility of a strong or severe thunderstorm as we head through today, maybe a couple of strong storms tomorrow. We've still got thunderstorm chances for the next several days. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Chris. Well, some Vernon County, Missouri residents say the floodwater is receding slowly. Vernon County is one of the areas that was hit hard by the heavy weekend rains. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has the latest on the aftermath.
Vernon County, Missouri received between 10 and 15 inches of rain, causing flooding at several creeks and 3 rivers running through the county. The Road and Bridge Department has been on alert since last Thursday. County officials say they are dealing with moderate damage to gravel roads, fallen trees, and farmland. Some county roads remain underwater and impassable. Nearby residents say this is normal during the springtime.
I used to live back down the road about 3 miles, and whenever the water would get up, it'd surround our whole house years ago, back when I was a kid.
Larry noticed the water receding and hopes it will be back to normal levels in a couple of days. He also noticed an uptick in traffic to check out the flood zone.
I think there's about 50 cars a day come out here and stop and look at it.
Reporting in Vernon County, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
You can read the full written statement from Vernon County officials about the flood impact and specific areas of concern on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The log jam on the Neosho River in Ottawa County, Oklahoma continues to grow near Twin Bridges State Park. It's estimated to be the size of 2 football fields right now, with more debris expected to join in from upstream. We spoke with the mayor of Miami, Bless Parker, who says there's currently no plan to remove the jam.
Actually, there's really not a whole lot we can do. You know, the accountability falls on GRDA, and GRDA has never been held accountable by our state, by our governor, by our legislators. They've never been held accountable for anything they've ever done, and somebody needs to hold them accountable. They're in charge of this water system, and they need to operate it the way it's supposed to be.
There are also concerns about a BNSF railroad about half-mile downstream from the log jam. Well, as of 9 yesterday morning, the Verdigris River at Coffeyville was cresting at about 19 feet, which is classified as a minor flood stage. Some flooding has occurred in low-lying areas around the river, and it's anticipated that the river level will drop fairly rapidly over the next several hours. You may remember just yesterday, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment had issued a stream advisory for part of the Verdigris River because of an oil well spill. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get a severe weather update sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM Skywatch weather app. A state investigation clears a Joplin police officer of wrongdoing in a shooting. The Missouri Highway Patrol was called in to investigate a February 9th shooting on West 7th Street. In that shooting, the officer fired one shot that hit a suspect's hand and wrist area. The suspect was then treated for non-life-threatening injuries. An internal investigation conducted by JPD determined the officer acted appropriately. They then called in the MSHP to process the crime scene and investigate as an outside agency. Based on their report, the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office determined charges are not warranted against the officer in this case. The race for a council person in Ward 1 of Carterville, Missouri is over. Residents yesterday voted in a special election to determine the winner after the race ended in a tie, with 14 votes going to both Devin Keeling and Darlene Taylor. 5 more residents cast their ballots yesterday, with Keeling winning the position by a count of 18-15. It appears Kansas will not be banning gender-affirming care for minors. The State House Monday night failed to override Democratic Governor Laura Kelly's veto of the bill. The Republican-controlled Senate had enough votes to enact the ban, but the House was 2 votes shy. The measure would have stopped hormone therapies, puberty blockers, and surgeries for trans and non-binary youth in Kansas. Governor Kelly called the failed override a win for parental rights and Kansas families. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A Pitt State outfielder is named MIAA Softball Player of the Year. We'll have the details. Plus, a teenage boy has been killed after a man wielding a sword went on a rampage in London. And thunderstorm chances continue. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
You're a storyteller. Negotiate.
All who can attend the event.
A school record holder at Riverton signs yesterday afternoon to continue her track and field career at Pittsburg State. Riverton High School senior Kelsey Locke signing with Pitt State track and field yesterday afternoon. She holds the school record in both shot put and discus throw. Future Gorilla says Pitt State is always where she wanted to go.
2 years ago, if you would have asked me, are you wanting to go to college for throwing, I would have been like, I don't know if I can make it, but I worked so hard this summer for this, and I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to throw collegiately. They were the top of my list because their track program is awesome, and I knew if I could secure them, it was just exciting.
The MIAA releases its 2024 softball postseason awards yesterday afternoon. Missouri Southern and Pittsburg State are both well represented among the conference, but the Gorillas overwhelmingly lead the way. Pittsburg State head coach Jenny Fuller and her assistants are named the 2024 MIAA Coaching Staff of the Year. According to PSU Athletics, this is the first time in program history that a Gorilla softball coaching staff has earned this award. Pitt State won the regular season conference title and are ranked 4th nationally in the most recent coaches poll. Pittsburgh State outfielder Heather Arnett is named the 2024 MIAA Softball Co-Player of the Year. She shares the award with Taryn Ritz from Central Oklahoma. Arnett led the conference in hits, batting average, runs scored, triples, and stolen bases, and holds school records in career stolen bases and runs scored in a single season. Pitt State pitcher Ava Laurent is named the MIAA Freshman of the Year. She has made an immediate impact in her first collegiate season with a team-best 1.97 ERA. Laurent also leads the conference in strikeouts with 192. She holds a win-loss record of 18-1 on the season. Here's a look at all the Gorillas to receive all conference honors. Maddie Fernandez, Hannah Burnett, and Paxton Hayes joined Laurent and Arnett on the first team all-conference. Burnett and Arnett each are named to the MIAA Gold Glove team, and shortstop Gabby Schultz receives honorable mention all MIAA honors. Elsewhere, 6 members of the Missouri Southern softball team take home all MIAA honors. Taylor Knuckles, Kylie Jacks, and Kara Amos are all named to the second team all-conference. Jacks is one of 3 Lions on the Gold Glove team, along with Kiki Pickens and Yasmin Vargas. Then Vargas and Katie Gray are both on the honorable mention all MIAA team. Fairland slow pitch softball qualifies for the state tournament for the first time in school history. Later this morning, the Lady Owls, or yesterday morning rather, this morning. Gotta get all of our tenses right. They're going to play at state. Here's a look at the bracket for the Class 3A state tournament. The tournament starts and ends today. The Lady Owls face Tushka in the quarterfinals at 10 a.m. If they win that first game, then they're going to advance to the semifinals at 1 in the afternoon. And then the 3A state championship game is tomorrow evening at 5:30. Lady Owls got to this point by winning both their district and regional tournaments. They won all 3 district games by a combined differential of 23 runs. Then this past week, Fairland wins 2 of its 3 games at regionals, beating Dewar in the championship round. Well, still to come, we're going to see why the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning about a possible E. coli outbreak. And we've got another look at that soggy forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
At Food for Less, our name says it and our prices prove it.
Home improvement needs.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 now on this Wednesday morning. Here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. So the showers, the remnant showers from last night's thunderstorm activity continuing to push off to the south and east. However, while the bulk of that activity was rolling south-southeast, we're watching these thunderstorms out to the west. Now, again, they're not strong. They're not severe at this point, but they are continuing to develop. And if you take note, they're following the other boundary. And instead of moving to the south and east, they are tracking off to the east. And that means that if they hold and continue their path, they'll start to roll into Elk and Chautauqua counties here in the next hour or so. And if it continues to hold, then we'll see what these storms do as we go through the morning hours. In addition, I need to clear that box. I didn't get that one off there. The flood watches have been canceled for our area, and we still have some stream and river flood warnings out there because we're still getting more rainfall. We got more rainfall. We got too much rainfall, and we still have more rainfall on the way. For today, we do have a low-end tornado risk. It's just barely clipping the far western edges of our viewing area. That's some good news after the last few days. But we do have a low to elevated hail risk and a low to elevated wind risk, primarily into southeastern Kansas for some strong, possibly severe storms later today. In addition, tomorrow we have that low-end risk across a broader area, briefly along and north of I-44. For some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. Friday, believe it or not, it's actually going to be a pretty decent day initially, and then by Friday evening, some scattered storms and maybe some stronger storms in parts of Greenwood County will be possible as we go overnight Friday into Saturday. So let's talk about what's going to happen over the next 24, 48 hours across the area. By noon, again, a few stray showers. The future track trying to pick up on what those storms are going to do. Sometimes Mother Nature throws a curveball at the computers. throws a curveball at the forecast data, and it tries to make its best estimate when it wasn't anticipating something. But we'll have a few showers. We'll have a few isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two out there. But the bigger bulk activity will start rolling in late this evening. Here we are about 9 o'clock in our far northern counties. Here come showers and thunderstorms. Those kind of roll out, and then we get another complex that's going to be associated with another greater severe threat out to our west. And it's going to be like last night. This is going to be the outflow and the remnants off that complex by 3 a.m. Here you see these storms starting to roll into the area. And they'll continue through our morning drive, so we'll keep an eye on these as we head into the morning show tomorrow. And then throughout our Thursday, it is going to be just scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, some of these could be strong to low-grade severe, so we'll keep an eye on it for you. But they're going to be just kind of persistent throughout the day. As you see, there will be breaks. There will be pauses. You'll have an opportunity where you won't have any rain, but we'll continue with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Here we are Thursday at 7. That all continues on. And we go into Friday morning, couple of showers out there, and then things do finally calm down briefly for our Friday before it starts to thunderstorm again Friday night. 62 in Joplin right now, south-southeast breeze at 6. Temperatures around the region holding pretty steady, not bad. We have 59 in Iola. The rest of us are into the low 60s out there. And again, we get our morning started, some scattered showers, couple of thunderstorms out there, a bit windy at times. That south wind gusting upwards of 20. Will be about 73 by 11 o'clock this morning. In between the showers and storm chances today, we could even see some mostly clear skies for some of us. So we're looking at highs upper 70s, low 80s. Upper 70s again for us tomorrow with those thunderstorms, evening thunderstorms Friday. And take a look at this. Thunderstorm chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, next Thursday, Friday. We stay warm, but we also stay very wet across the area. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Indigo Sky Casino Highway
to Jolly Fox Brewery for a Cinco de Mayo celebration.
Topping Health Watch this morning. The CDC is warning about an E. coli outbreak. The CDC on Tuesday said a dozen people in California and Washington state have been sickened after eating a batch of organic walnuts. 7 people became so ill that doctors admitted them to hospitals. The walnuts were produced at Gibson Farms, a California farm in Hollister. The FDA says the company voluntarily recalled its organic light halves and pieces shells walnuts last week. While people in only 2 states have become ill, the recalled walnuts also were sold in stores in 17 other states. Those were mostly in the Midwest and the West. Walmart says it will close all of its healthcare clinics and end virtual healthcare services. The largest retailer in the U.S. made a big push into healthcare in recent years. It has 51 clinics in 6 states. They're next to its superstores and offered primary and urgent care, labs, x-rays, behavioral health, and dental work. Walmart targeted rural and underserved areas that have a shortage of primary care providers. The announcement is an abrupt reversal in the company's strategy and may leave a gap in healthcare access, particularly for lower-income patients without insurance who relied on the clinics. Walmart says its healthcare push was not profitable because of what it called the challenging reimbursement environment and escalating operating costs. The big box retailer said they determined it's not a sustainable business model. Federal restrictions for marijuana could soon become looser. The Justice Department says it wants to reclassify the drug as lower risk. Its formal proposal announced yesterday sets off a process that could result in the change. Amy Kiley reports on what that would mean for businesses and users.
On the schedule currently, marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin.
That could soon change. The Justice Department is starting the process to make marijuana a Schedule III drug instead of Schedule I. That would put it on par with Tylenol containing codeine. Right now, marijuana is considered
more dangerous than fentanyl, which is absurd, not to mention patently unfair.
The change could ease criminal penalties. help marijuana businesses bank more freely, and give tax benefits to state licensed operators. But reclassification takes months due to steps outlined in the Controlled Substances Act.
I've been smoking pot for like 5 decades.
A Pew Research Center poll shows most Americans support legalizing marijuana for health or recreation. Reclassifying it doesn't go that far, but advocates welcome looser restrictions.
I was a heroin addict for many, many years. Just taking the edge off keeps me off of going back.
Now a lot of athletes are consuming cannabis for their own health and well-being.
Others caution that marijuana can lead to health issues and addiction.
A lot of the news focus is on fentanyl, but we have 5 times as many Americans with cannabis use disorder or cannabis addiction as we do with opioid use disorder.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
24 states and the District of Columbia allow recreational marijuana use. Those permit it for medical purposes, but without federal legalization, those state laws exist in a gray area. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got ourselves a relatively calm start out there this morning, but more shower and thunderstorm chances on the way. We'll have another look at that forecast when we come back.
First from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Right now at 5:30, businesses, residents, and city leaders attend a meeting to determine the future of 69 highway projects.
And we've got a calm start out there, at least for right now. Still tracking additional shower and thunderstorm chances. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, how the Joplin Public Library is helping people convert their old media platforms into digitized versions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So again, we had scattered showers and thunderstorms last night. We had a tornado warning, a brief tornado touchdown in Chautauqua County. Thankfully, nothing so far significant from that, but nonetheless.
No breaks.
Yeah, no breaks for the weather other than Monday. Monday was the only time we had a true full day without thunderstorm activity, without severe weather in the 4 states. We're relatively calm across the area right now, but we're keeping an eye on some additional thunderstorm chances over the next several days, to be perfectly honest with you. So I know we got flooding concerns. We got a lot going on, and it's just not letting up on us right now. Let's start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got, again, the remnant showers from last night's thunderstorms pushing south of Cassville into Benton County, starting to exit northeastern Oklahoma. Now that activity rolling south and east. Those thunderstorms began to fire up. They rolled east, then they turned south and east. However, take a look out to the west. We're keeping an eye on this complex of thunderstorms. Now, again, it's not strong, it's not severe at this point, but it is continuing to develop, and it is not lifted, or is not pushing southeast. It is starting to lift east, almost northeast. So we're going to keep an eye on these showers and storms and see what they do, where they go as we head through the morning hours. So if they continue their course, they'll start to roll into parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties and Washington County within the next couple of hours or so, and we'll keep an eye on them in case they intensify. It's not an expectation at this point, but after everything we've seen the last several days, we're going to continue to monitor any thunderstorm activity. Still have some flood warnings out there across the area. These are now confined, thankfully, to rivers and streams. It's just we say thankfully because we're not seeing aerial flood warnings, meaning that we're starting to see at least some improvements outside of rivers and streams across the area. Relatively mild start, 62 in Joplin, 60 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the region, for the most part, in the low 60s. We've got Iola as the cool spot at 59 degrees out there. Kids getting on the bus. We're keeping an eye on those thunderstorms out west. We could see an isolated or scattered storm this morning. 63 south breeze to the 15, gusting upwards of 20. Still gusting to 20 this afternoon. 81 when the kids get off the bus. And again, an isolated or scattered shower or storm by this afternoon. We're going to have those periods where we're going to be dry. We may even have some points where we see a little more sunshine. And those of you who see more sunshine will be a little warmer than and those of you that see less sunshine today. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy. Again, isolated to widely scattered showers and storms through the day. Most of us highs into the upper 70s and low 80s. We have more thunderstorms rolling in tonight. We have more on Friday. We have more heading into the weekend. We have more on Thursday. We'll talk about all that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
Lots to watch out for. Thanks, Chris. Well, authorities say a mountain lion was spotted Monday near Galesburg Middle School in Neosho County, Kansas. The city says the mountain lion was startled, then fled south. Officials advise people to use caution during outdoor activities in the area. And to report a sighting, contact the Neosho County Sheriff's Department or the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Crawford County residents yesterday voiced their support for a plan to expand Highway 69 as it currently is, rather than creating a bypass. The SEK Highway 69 Strategic Alliance hosted a meeting to bring community members together with Pittsburgh and Crawford County officials to discuss expansion plans. One option is to expand the current bypass, which many of the residents in attendance were in favor of. Another is a plan to create a new bypass west of the current one in Crawford County. Some residents are worried that would hurt local businesses.
Our determination now is not so much to be against the western bypass, but to be for upgrading and improving the existing bypass around Pittsburgh. We know that's a lot more economical way to go.
KDOT is currently looking at economic surveys to see how much of an impact each plan would have. The Pitt State Electrical Technology Program held a signing day. Similar to an athletic signing day, the program recognized 18 students who will not only graduate in May, but have been recruited for full-time employment. For the electrical instructor, right now is the best time for these students to enter the electrical industry.
Equivalent to, honestly, to a nurse's certificate. Not the same as an RN, but a lot of work, a lot of learning has been involved. And our program is also very hands-on, so not only do they know it book-wise, they know it by hand, be able to do it with their hands. And so they'll go from wiring houses to industrial positions to building large commercial buildings.
Industry representatives were in attendance to take part in the celebration. Dozens of vendors set up booths at the Together Crawford County Community Job and Resource Fair yesterday in Pittsburgh. The fair brings together local resources and employers. Organizers say the goal is to provide a community service.
It's to be involved in the community, to bring the community together, to share the resources. Often you don't know about resources until after an incident you've gone through. So really trying to be at the forefront of helping people in the community.
Together Crawford County Community Job and Resource Fair took place at the Pittsburgh Memorial Auditorium. The Joplin Public Library is offering a non-conventional service. Conversion of VHS, vinyl cassettes, and DVDs to digital. Photos, negatives, and CDs can also be converted in the makerspace. It's an opportunity to relive memories and save them for future generations.
This is all I have of my boys growing up. I have photos too, but I really treasure the tape.
Some patrons that come in and they know exactly what's on this VHS. They've watched it a billion times. They're so excited to have it where they can keep sharing it. But then I have a lot of people that come in like, I found this in a cabinet. It doesn't have anything written on it. I have no idea what this is. I just need to see what's on here and see if it's worth saving.
The Joplin Library Makerspace also has equipment for cutting or engraving a variety of materials, as well as a 3D printer. To make appointments, contact the library, and you can find more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Ottawa County Bar Association wants to let Oklahomans know about Law Day 2024. Today from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., hundreds of Oklahoma lawyers will donate their time to provide free legal advice by phone or email. For contact information and details, including details on other states in our area, go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Oklahoma Bar Association has been celebrating Law Day for more than 60 years. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The first scientist to publish a sequence of the COVID-19 virus in China has been locked out of his lab. Plus, Israel's prime minister says his troops will invade Rafah with or without a hostage deal. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, the first scientist to publish a sequence of the COVID-19 virus in China has been locked out of his lab. Zhang Yongzhen said he was blocked from entering the lab this weekend. He sat outside in the rain in protest and slept outside of the facility. News of his demonstration spread on Chinese social media, where the scientist said in a now deleted post, quote, "I won't leave, I won't quit. I am pursuing science and the truth." Beijing has been putting pressure on scientists conducting coronavirus research. Zhang published a COVID-19 sequence in 2020 without state approval and has faced demotions and setbacks since then. In an online statement, the Shanghai Public Health Clinical Center said his lab was being renovated for safety reasons and he was given a different lab to work in. Zhang wrote his team wasn't offered an alternate lab until after being notified of their eviction, and the new lab did not meet safety standards. A teenage boy has been killed in a sword attack in London. A man wielding a sword went on a rampage in the East London suburb of Hainault yesterday, killing a 13-year-old boy. At least 4 people were injured, including 2 police officers. Metropolitan Police say the 36-year-old suspect was arrested after police responded to reports of a vehicle being driven into a house and multiple stabbings near the Hainault train station. Police say the incident is not being treated as a terror attack. Israel's prime minister says his troops will invade Rafah with or without a hostage deal. The city is the last major stronghold for Hamas in southern Gaza and where around 1 million Palestinians are sheltering. As correspondent Rebecca Castor reports, the warning comes as Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the region pushing for a ceasefire.
While negotiations over a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas continue, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's still planning to invade the southern Gaza city of Rafah, despite calls for restraint from Western allies, including the United States.
We have concerns about that, and we want to talk and discuss and continue having those conversations about what their potential plan might look like.
More than 1 million Palestinians, most of whom fled other parts of Gaza, are sheltering in Rafah. But so are some of the terror group's operatives. Speaking with families of hostages taken by Hamas, Netanyahu said, "The idea that we will stop the war before achieving all of its goals is out of the question. We will enter Rafah and we will eliminate Hamas's battalions there."
If we're going to try to save the lives of those in Rafah, then they need to be putting pressure on Hamas to lay down their arms and quit fighting.
Later today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken will arrive in Israel, where he'll continue to push for a ceasefire and more humanitarian aid in Gaza.
In this moment, the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas.
Hamas previously demanded a permanent ceasefire and complete withdrawal of Israeli troops, but U.S. officials are hopeful the group will accept a 6-week deal and the release of dozens of hostages for larger numbers of Palestinian prisoners.
That's a look at some headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Phil Sanders.
A plan today at 620-308-0277.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:46 now on this Wednesday morning, and we are getting a bit of a pause in the thunderstorm activity across the area. We still have some showers around the Cassville area and just outside of Bentonville from last night's storms, but we're keeping an eye on this complex that's out to our west as it continues to develop and slowly slide off to the east. We do have one strong thunderstorm in Harper County that's producing some penny-sized hail. So we're going to keep an eye on these storms as they continue to roll off to the east and see if they manage to hold their own or if they begin to die out across the area. We also still have those flood warnings. Thankfully, we're now down to river and stream flood warnings out there. We don't have the aerial flood warnings, which means countywide conditions are beginning to improve, but we're not seeing significant improvements yet around rivers and streams. We have that possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms once again today. Some other good news is there is a low-wind tornado risk, but it is just barely clipping the far western edges of southeast Kansas. However, we still have a low to elevated hail and wind risk across the area, and this is again primarily across southeastern Kansas. Today, though, not the only weather day. We've got strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms possible throughout the day on Thursday, mainly along into the north of I-44, and we'll have some thunderstorms Friday night out there as well. And we do have a very low wind risk, just again barely clipping our northwestern counties as we head into Friday night. Let's talk about the next 48 hours here. So by this afternoon, a stray shower or thunderstorm will be possible here and there. And then as we head into the evening, we'll see a few more showers and thunderstorms in our northern counties initially. And then after 9, we're going to see another complex. We have again a greater severe threat out to our west. So like our storms last night, these will be remnants off that complex that'll continue to push south and east across the area. So by 3 a.m. Thursday, showers and thunderstorms out there. Again, some of these could be strong, possibly severe, and these will be continuing. And this is going to be the catalyst, though, of scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout our Thursday. So as we get our commute underway, 69, I-49, right there, thunderstorms, more showers out in southeastern Kansas. We'll have pauses throughout the day on Thursday, but we're going to continue to see scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, some of these could be strong, possibly severe as we go throughout our Thursday. You can see by Thursday, 7 o'clock, some big thunderstorm complexes out there. Then we'll get a pause as we head into our Friday, and then by Friday night, more showers and thunderstorms will start rolling into the area. In Joplin right now, skies are cloudy, 62, south-southeast breeze at 6. Temperatures around the region, for the most part, holding into the low 60s across the area. Warm spot there, Miami, Monette, both sitting at 65. We get our morning started again. Isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm through the morning. 73, otherwise in between partly to mostly cloudy skies. That south wind gusting occasionally upwards of 20. We are looking at highs depending on how much sunshine you see. Upper 70s, low 80s today. We'll go into the 70s for our Thursday, 70s on Friday. Thunderstorm chances continue Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're looking at a pause next Wednesday. More storm chances toward the end of next week. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Are you game?
I am ready.
Crossroads, tonight on KOAM News at 6.
A year in the life of NASA. That's what NASA just dropped, cherry-picking a year's worth of the most stunning, surreal, and science-y photos the space agency has to offer. Jeremy Roth gives us a sneak peek in today's Take a Look at This.
NASA has just released their best photos of the year in an out-of-this-world online collection that isn't just stellar, it's interstellar. Researchers at the agency's headquarters hand-picked 100 images capturing the best of the best moments of 2023, and all are now available to view on NASA's website. Some highlights include an explosive up-close look at the launch of the massive Soyuz rocket, to a very, very up-close look at a teeny-tiny sample from the asteroid Bennu, which headlined the OSIRIS-REx mission and its much-heralded return to Earth. The full album is worth a gander for a complete look at what was going up, what was coming down, what was going on, what was going above and beyond, or simply the amazing people who made it all possible. This surreal smiling robot is ready for its own photo shoot. It's already the face of a new study published in Science Robotics. EMO, the robotic brainchild of the Creative Machines Lab at Columbia Engineering, uses 2 different AI systems to not only make eye contact with humans, but to predict when they're about to smile and then smile back. And here I thought a smiling face couldn't give me nightmares. EMO's equipped with high-res cameras in its eyes and 26 robotic facial muscles to produce a gregarious grin that's being called a revolution in robot-human interaction. Finally, say cheese if you like cheese as much as lucky Philadelphians who now have their very first 24/7 cheese vending machine, courtesy of the fine folks at Perrystead Dairy. Serving fresh cheeses and fancy meats at all hours, it's a welcome solution to those pesky late-night charcuterie board cravings. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around, we'll be right back.
To lunch or dinner, and then out to the movies at Second Sunday Cinema.
A wild monkey is spotted roaming around Central Florida. Floridians are no stranger to wild encounters, but this wild monkey sighting is certainly rare. It was spotted behind a high school in Groveland. An animal expert believes that the monkey is a rhesus macaque, a breed brought to Florida in the 1930s to be used in a tourist attraction. Anyone who spots a wild monkey is encouraged to keep a safe distance and report it to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Today is May Day, a traditional celebration of flowers and warmer weather. On many ancient calendars, May 1st welcomed the first day of summer and was a cause for celebration. The summer solstice, the official start of the season, isn't actually until June 20th, but in many parts of the U.S., daffodils and other flowers are already in bloom as April showers have brought May flowers. In English tradition, the holiday is observed by crowning a May queen and dancing around a maypole. Many Americans observe the date by planting flowers or delivering a basket of flower bulbs to friends and neighbors. Share your own May 1st celebration on social media with the hashtag #MayDay.
As we get our day underway, some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms will be possible out there. Winds gusting out of the south upwards of 20, and will be in between partly to mostly cloudy skies out there, about 73 by late morning. Now, depending on how much sunshine you manage to see, that's of course going to have a pretty big impact on your temperature. Some of us could go upper 70s. I think most of us are going to make it into the low 80s today. And again, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible through today, but most of us will remain dry until we hit this evening. After about 9 o'clock, we'll see a few more isolated showers, and then we'll see more showers and thunderstorms overnight associated with a complex out to our west. It'll be similar to what we saw last night, where we had thunderstorms out to our west. That complex continued to move into the area, and we got a few storms out of that. Of course, some of those were severe. We'll make it back to the low 60s tonight. As we head to our Thursday, it'll be scattered thunderstorms for the majority of us throughout the day. There will be pauses here and there, but otherwise a fairly rainy, stormy day. 77 for the high, mid-70s Friday. Thunderstorms in the evening Friday. Otherwise, not too bad for the first half of the day. More thunderstorms through the weekend into the first half of next week. Maybe a pause on Wednesday and more storms to close out next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.